There's nothing glamorous or relaxing about running a beauty business, contrary to what everyone thinks. There's so much your degree doesn't prepare you for. I opened my doors in March of 2011, and I think it had to be the most exciting, the most stressful, the most gut-wrenching feeling all in one. Exciting in the sense that it was a dream come true. I was finally getting a chance to do something that I really had always wanted to. Stressful in the sense that I didn't know how many people would show up. I didn't know if anybody would show up. Gut-wrenching also in the sense that, oh, this is a completely new terrain. Am I going to succeed? Is this going to work or not? So I had been in business for all of 10 months. I would say I was just about finding my feet, finding my balance. And essentially it was one horrific night. I was getting ready to go home. This must have been around 8 or 9 p.m., so it wasn't too late. And I had just gotten into my car, but thankfully my instincts, as soon as I get into the car, is to lock the door even before I put my seatbelt on or anything. So I'd just gotten into the car, pressed the lock, looked up, and literally there were about 4 men surrounding my car. And I'm paralyzed with fear, obviously. It was, one guy on one end jolting, pulling at the door, somebody else punching my windows, and the other 2 guys trying to get into the back of the car. So, yeah, naturally I was paralyzed with fear. And it took one of my staff who was still at work at the time to literally keep yelling at me, like, oh madam, start the car, like, just if you drive they'll fall away. And at some point I think one guy was actually even on the bonnet of the car, like punching the window. And it took me all about, I don't know, it felt like forever, but I'm sure it was a matter of seconds. I finally started the car and just revved in reverse and drove home. I essentially had, I still don't know what it was. I mean, it was an attack of some sort. I don't know where it was coming from or why, because there were still people around. And the funniest part of it all was that nobody helped. People were just looking. And that was my first experience. I think I had insomnia for like a year or 2 after that. I still don't know, I still can't explain why it happened. But yeah, that was a turning point for me, definitely. Yeah, after that incident, I think I stayed away from work for a few weeks. I remember having conversations with my family about how I'm just not doing this anymore. It was just so much of a shock. And I remember my mom, all her wisdom, just saying, you know what, this isn't the time for you to give up. Maybe that was the aim, to rattle you and get you to just call it quits. So this might be a good time for you to go back to the drawing board, re-strategize, and decide on what you want to do. So it was essentially a time of a lot of reflection, despite the fear and lack of sleep. I went back to the drawing board and I thought, okay, maybe this is a time to grow. Maybe this is a time to find a standalone space where you can control your own security, and maybe also introduce new services, go big or go home, essentially. So for me, it was now time to show that this business is actually capable of being successful, and that, I can do nails really well, but I can also do skincare really well. I can also do hair care really well. So I set out to find a space that would essentially be a one-stop shop. you know, I think at the time I also had yoga going on, so there was a bit of like fitness to the wellness as well. And essentially, it was now capitalizing on the fact that people were looking for a place where they could do all of their maintenance and grooming, mind, body, and soul, as it were. There will always be, you know, a sense of danger and adversity, and in that time, rather than running away or questioning whether you should be chasing your dreams, it's the time to not give up, but reflect, go back to the drawing board, come up with a plan that scares you, essentially. So if it doesn't scare you, you shouldn't be doing it. Chances are, if you're playing it safe, you know, what makes you different to anybody else? I mean, I think the key thing is, as a business owner, you have to ask yourself, you know, is this my core passion? Passion is what will drive you and keep you going in the midst of any storm. Resilience is a personal character trait that, you know, every business owner needs to build, because tough times are everywhere. I mean, we're currently in tough times. These are the times that you have to sit back and innovate, essentially. And also, I guess, if you know that you have a business that's, you know, capable of being successful, you know, that's a good motivating factor. The viability of your business will definitely make it worth fighting for.